Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you a bit of an update. You might have seen from the thumbnail that things are looking pretty dramatic. You may have seen on the channel not posting as much, or at least not going live as much, not doing live streaming as much. In general, I suppose posts are down. We've been keeping active, but it's significantly less than before. And I think you deserve to know why. This will be a video that delves into a couple of topics and some reasons for that, and some changes that are going to be coming to the channel. I want to give a shout out to Arvind Animal Activist. Actually, it was a video that he just made in a similar vein that inspired me to do this for you. So first things first, something major that's changed is that I moved. I've made the move to Croatia. I'm now living in Zagreb. And this is hopefully going to be a permanent fixture. Hopefully this is where we're going to set up a home. We're going to set up this YouTube studio, which is not going to be this, by the way. This is obviously an Airbnb. The corner of a living room of an Airbnb, which is where a lot of my videos have been filmed. You go back through my videos, you'll be able to see. So yeah, we're going to be setting all of that up. And this is a great place to work from. Great activism community here. And we can get to a lot of places in Europe quite easily. So expect to see me popping up in your local activism community, ready to do some work with you, hopefully in the next couple of months or years or even longer. So that's nice. But that's obviously not the dramatic, juicy thing you came here looking for, going by the thumbnail. Obviously in the thumbnail, I have said that I am not doing any more vegan debates. Let me explain what this means and how I got to that point. So for the last 2 years, I've been working on an international animal rights project. It's currently still confidential. It's not something I can reveal publicly, but it's meant that I've been seeing a lot of animal cruelty and an overwhelming amount of animal abuse and animal cruelty. When I first started this project, I kept on YouTube, I kept everything up, everything was business as usual, and I was just going. And actually, I hadn't stopped making videos and making content, animal rights and vegan videos and posts since 2020, actually. It was about 3.5 years without a break. And when I started this international animal rights project, which has taken a lot of my time and effort and obviously a big hit on my mental health, this is when I actually was forced to take a break. I was still doing a load of social media work while doing that project for quite a long time until I just couldn't. And I had to start slowing down on YouTube work and Instagram work because, I was just fried. My brain was just fried, and things were significantly more difficult because of all of the, I suppose, trauma of that job and what we were doing and what we still are doing with that project. So with this step back, it allowed me to think for the first time in 3.5 years, to actually think about, what am I doing? Is this the best use of my time? And is this the legacy that I want to leave behind? I started to ask myself the question, so if I ended up on my deathbed at the age of, let's give me a good age, 90. Let's say I get to 90 and it's, things are going a little bit downhill now. Would I look back and say, hey, do you know what? And I'm happy with what I'm doing now as a 35-year-old. To keep doing that until 90, would I be happy? And my answer was no, actually. I would feel that I wasn't doing the things, the ways that would be best. Now, that's not to say that I have any regrets or anything. I think a lot of the work I've done has been important for animals and for me in a learning process to actually have this experience that I have now of going out and doing work with the public and doing investigations and making the YouTube videos that I have on the topics that I have and the ways that I have. It's all been part of this journey to getting to this point where I am now, where I start to actually, self-reflect and think, okay, but is this what I think is, for me, the right thing to continue doing until eventually I don't do YouTube anymore, or until I can't. I don't know what happens when you get old. Until you can't get out of bed anymore, I suppose, because I plan on doing activism until that point. And the answer was no. And the answer was that I feel like I can do things differently and I can do things better. Now, the more eagle-eyed of you out there might have noticed the changes in the channel. You'll have seen it in my last video where I debated the farmer. You'll see it in my last post which was about Tracy Murphy, which you can go and check that out. You'll see the one I did about Trump, the video I did about Trump, and you will also see this in the video I did about Peter Dinklage. That one especially caught a lot of people by surprise because the old me, I would have just roasted him for 20 minutes probably, and all the vegans, including myself, we would have been very happy with ourselves. We would have felt good. It would have been cathartic, right? Would have felt good to get it out, like get the anger out and just shout but would that have been the right move for creating behavior change? And to have a meaty to watch that and say, hey, you know what, I can see where this guy's coming from, and I don't want to be like Peter Dinklage. I think I actually agree with the vegan. No, I don't think shouting and calling someone names for 20 minutes would have created that impact. I want to do videos that you can share with your non-vegan friends and family, and that can be seen by non-vegans, and they say, hey, this guy makes some good points. I think I actually want to consider making changes in my life that help animals. And this is partly why I've been making less videos, because I'm trying to figure out how I want to move forward and how I want to make sure that everything that I put out into the world makes that positive change that I want in the world. I want everything that I say and do publicly to result in positive changes for animals. It's a lot of pressure on me, but life is so short that I don't want to waste any of it saying or doing anything that doesn't go towards that goal. And so it's true that I won't be debating people anymore, not at least in the sense of debate that you'll have seen before from me. I'm not going to be going head to head with people and clashing with them. I'm not going to moralize against them and try and, make them out to be evil, or that, I'm right and you're wrong, and here's why, and you're terrible because you don't agree with me. And I'm sure this type of activism works for some people. I'm sure it convinces some people, right? Obviously. But do I believe that for me, that me doing that is the best way to create change in others? I'm not convinced anymore. I think that the better way for me to be speaking to people now is to try and collaborate with people, is to try and work with them to find out where they're at with their understanding of what's happening to animals, their understanding of veganism, their understanding of animal rights, and finding the parts we disagree on and seeing how we can work together despite disagreeing, and what can they do for animals despite disagreeing. We've got to look for other ways to work with these individuals so that they can still do things that help animals despite not making the choice that we think is right. And I'm exploring what that is right now, but in my outreach video that you've already seen, I suppose, with We the Free, you see some people were talking about changes they could make right there and then. Some of them said they were going to cut all the dairy out. Some of them said they were going to cut all the meat out. These are very, very good changes. Maybe they will go vegan as well. But the point is they're already making changes. And if they spend their whole life and never touch another dairy product in their whole life, that is still more than 99% of the population is doing for animals. That is still more than most people. Through research and through reading and through going to various conferences around animal rights conferences around the world, these are the conclusions that I've come to. I just got to find a balance between videos that we enjoy and we pat ourselves on the back for, we have a great time, but making sure that it's still accessible to somebody who's outside of our community, who we want to come into our community. We have an exclusive group, vegans, but we want everyone to join it. And I think that's something that I've struggled with and something a lot of us struggle with, in that we acknowledge each other as being people who are truly fantastic for animals, and thank you for speaking up for animals, and thank you for being vegan. And I'm not undermining that whatsoever. But if we lean too much into that, then we become so exclusive that nobody wants to talk to us and nobody wants to listen to us and nobody wants to listen to our important messages about animals. If you want a more detailed explanation and a more kind of delving into my thoughts a lot more, if you want to read my mind, then I am launching a Substack. Substack is a place, it's like reading the news, but it's all me. I make all the articles, I make all the posts, kind of blogs, posts, articles, whatever you want to call them. All the stuff I've just talked about in this video is going to be right there in a lot more detail than I've given here, and that'll be available for you. They're going to be discussions that you don't see much in the mainstream, and that are going to be discussions that I don't make videos about. Okay, so if you've got an open mind and you're open to discussing new ideas, and you don't find new ideas to be, I don't know, offensive or troubling or anything like that, because if you do, this is not going to be a place for you, because the Substack is going to be a place for people who are interested in kind of widening their perspectives and having those discussions. And there's no shade here. That if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if it is for you, you might want to come and check out my Substack. It's on the screen right now if you want to go and check it out. I'll get back to streaming regularly again once I'm set up properly here in Croatia. And so don't worry. The streams are coming back, all right? We're not stopping the streams. I have huge news on the horizon, guys. This is going to be the biggest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. Work-wise, personal-wise, it is by far the biggest and most ambitious thing I've ever tried to do. So I really hope you're going to be here for that. And I hope you're going to be helping me make this a massive success, because it needs to be. It needs to be successful, because if it is, it's going to have massive impact for animals. So I really hope I can count on you for that. I'd also like to say a big special thank you to everyone who has supported the channel through the teams that we have. We have the YouTube membership team, we have the Patreon team. You guys and your monetary support really is fantastic. It makes all of this possible. You've allowed me to do so much work that I couldn't have done without your support. I have a ton of video ideas. I have so many video ideas that I really want to do. As soon as I'm set up here in Croatia and things are more stable, I'm going to be working on that project that I just mentioned, and I'm going to also be working on putting out some new, fresh, interesting videos that I really hope you guys are going to be sharing and getting out there to as many people as possible who need to see what's being said in these videos, because they're all going to be about trying to convince people to make changes for animals, to make animal-friendly changes in their lives ASAP. So I really hope, again, to have you on board for that. And if you want to help me with my vegan and animal rights work, check out the David Ram's Patreon and YouTube teams in the description.